What does it mean to be creative?
When I choose to be a moderator, it's my goal to make the focus on the celebrity and their relationship to the fans.
To think outside the box.
He said, well, you can't be all things to all people or something to that effect. You can't appeal to everybody. And I said, why the hell not?
On Your Cre8tivity podcast, we sit down with artists, filmmakers, comedians, and performers of all genres to ask them 8 simple questions on what makes them tick.
In high school, I thought I was going to go into acting, and then I love my mom, but she was like, you kind of need to get paid. And so journalism, the pursuit of journalism was a way to act and get paid.
And what can we learn from their quest for creativity? It's time for Your Cre8tivity podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. It's a new year, a new world, so to speak, and a new set of podcasts. And just before we jump into our guests, let's catch up with Steve and Andrea. Steve, go ahead. What have you been doing?
Well, pretty much I'm planning on not making it past July. I think by then the world is pretty much screwed. So, I will see what happens, and if July comes and I still owe money, then I might have to do some other work.
Okay.
Well, I think I have a more optimistic idea of what's going on with the world. I'm breathing today. Maybe not amazingly because it's smoggy in Salt Lake. But I can inhale and exhale, and so I'm doing good. We're good. We're good.
Any new job or anything?
Oh, well, I guess I have joined the workforce, the 9-to-5ers. I work at Salt Lake Magazine now. I'm their digital media operator, which means I have to run in and out from podcasts with Dylan, and he gives me furrows his brow because I don't have time for him anymore. That's what I'm doing these days, and then plays and films and writing.
Speaking of big events, Steve, you went to a show of a popular redhead.
Kathy?
Yes.
Kathy Griffin.
Your friend Kathy Griffin. How was that?
I stood on her ass.
There's photo proof of this, too.
Yeah, there actually is proof. I love Kathy. She's hilarious. And we met her last time she came into town, and she's great. We took her a chocolate shoe, and she likes chocolate.
Does she like shoes?
Yeah, I think so. But she's hilarious. I like her.
Well, great. Well,
Is that all you want to know?
yeah. Just one. Give
I didn't kiss her or anything.
That's next time. Baby steps,
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
And why not?
Well, I am hard to get. Come on, Andrea. I am hard to get. And I'm not really sure where she's kissed. So I think she's kissed a lot of people. I'm not sure. Maybe next time.
He's got lips only for one person. We'll let you decide who that is.
Well,
They know who they are.
okay, I'm checking my notes, but I got a phone call. 1 second.
It's a good thing it's a podcast, so you can't see what we're actually doing. We're all sitting in here on our underwear in a bubble bath, drinking wine and champagne.
Again.
It's not the first time that we have chocolate shoes. We just hope they don't melt.
Or we do.
Or we do.
It's actually a lot more fun when they melt.
Dripping everywhere. Anyway, it's not that kind of podcast today.
Dylan, do you know our guest? Seriously, it could be that kind of a podcast. I'm just saying.
Dylan's over
event.
Family event. The event is family. The guests are...
Yeah, right. It's wink, wink. That's where families come from.
Well played.
Well, Steve, do you want to introduce Valerie?
No, I mean, you're doing good.
Okay.
I love Valerie.
Well, introduce her. Tell us about her.
Well, okay, Valerie is amazing. And any event in Salt Lake that's ever happened and been kind of cool, guess who's been behind it? Valerie. Valerie is
Just
the one that's
cool.
been pushing that. She does everything amazing. She knows everybody.
Oh, thanks.
Actually, all of your events, if you Googled Salt Lake events, your name is going to come up with almost every one of them.
There's probably a few that I haven't done.
But I mean,
she likes-
mainly nerdy events.
She likes
I
to
would
stay
say.
behind the scenes
Yeah.
sometimes, so she's probably needs more credit, I think.
Yeah. No, she totally needs a ton of credit.
Valerie is an event,
Oh, hell.
and we're all attending it.
Yay, thank
Claps.
you.
And like Andrea, you have a day job too. Well, real early.
I mean, I guess you can call it a job. I work in radio in the morning, and it's really fun. I think the only thing that isn't awesome about it is waking up at 3:30 in the morning. That never I don't ever like that. It doesn't get easier; it gets harder. But other than that, I get paid to be silly and laugh at Mike's jokes and give away prizes. I don't even have to wear regular clothes because nobody's there. I can wear pajamas. So, I mean, if you want to call it a job, I'm done at 10 a.m.
My kind of job.
I'd have to agree with you. I'm not one for mornings, but
I'm a morning person, but you don't realize that you're not a morning person until your morning starts at 3:30 in the morning.
I just probably
real
wouldn't go
morning.
to bed. So, I think I would go to bed after at 10.
But see, I can't because I have this other thing that we're doing, and so I
You
have
should
to
have called
sleep.
this one in. You really could have called in this podcast. I'm just saying.
I'm 25 days away from a big event. I can't. There's no sleeping.
truth be told, Valerie's a robot.
And that's where our other guest comes in.
Yeah.
Carrie, who I met about a month or so ago at a Creative Mornings event. She, talked about the event. Let's just spill the beans and name it. Wizarding Days.
Beans. It's a big secret.
Yeah, Carrie and I, Carrie has done so many cool Harry Potter events and has worked for the library forever, done charity events, got me into the world of everything I wasn't into before.
Yes.
She's had me host events that I knew nothing about, but I pretended to know
Made
about.
it work.
So we met doing events, but we did an event where we were doing a book exchange. It was for literacy and autism, and we really kind of got together at that event. We knew each other before,
and we
but
we worked to
bonded.
each other before, which Valerie always says, you're going to hate me coming up to the event. So now, but we worked together before, so I know I won't hate her that much. She's making a face. But what we love to work together with our sensory fair for the Autism Council of Utah. We also did events with refugees, getting books for children. So we bring that spirit of community and giving back to Wizarding Days.
And she's a huge Potterhead and said, "Hey, Val, we need to do a Harry Potter event." And I said, well, I was a little hesitant at first because we have a lot of really great nerdy events here in Utah, and I attend all of them. So we're busy going to all of them. And then, we decided we would do one that's a little bit more intimate, that is has proceeds that go to charity, which is very important to both of us, that is literary based, so based on our love for books, more of my love for movies, but her love for books and my love for books too. And then we said, but we're going to make it small and intimate. And if we can do that and give back to the community, then we're both in. And we both decided to do it. I've learned a little bit more about Harry Potter. I've seen all the movies.
We still don't know what house she's in, but
I told you, I
haven't taken the test.
I live in the Baggins house. I am the Lord of
That
the Rings
should be
side
an
of this
option.
regular. I am the Lord of the Rings side. I'm a Hobbit, and I live in the Baggins house, and she's the Harry Potter side.
yes,
So
the book
I think
and the
it's
movie.
I think it's a good, good teamwork.
Yes.
Yep. When I first heard about it, I thought it was, just Harry Potter. I didn't know about the literary part, and I was kind of humming, going before I found out the literary part, and that's just great that you're giving back like that. How did you two first meet?
When you were at FantasyCon.
So I was the event coordinator for an event called FantasyCon that happened in 2014. And with that event, they really allowed me to do a bunch of community outreach programs with FantasyCon. And so every chance that we could, we went to work with community partners like the library so that we could help with different youth events, with charitable events. And we did, I think the first one we did was the Teen Yule Ball. And so we showed up at the Teen Yule Ball, and we brought our dragons, and we brought our cosplayers, and we took pictures, and we did a lot of stuff. And then she said, hey, you know, we should do something else. And I said, I would really love to start a program called Fantasy or Literacy Through Fantasy is what it was. And so we did this first book exchange, and we had like over 800 books donated. And so just kind of those two events that we kind of said, okay. And then she was like, hey, and I have this, I have ToshoCon, and I'm like, I don't know what ToshoCon is, but I can pretend. And so we just started doing all those events. And then I stopped working with FantasyCon, and she decided she wanted to stop working with the library, and she said we should come together and do our own event because we've been running events for everyone else.
Yes.
And so I said, well, that's kind of scary, but okay. So,
this is
and
us.
It's still scary.
Yes, it is scary, but like we want the autonomy because I worked in the government for years, and I loved working for the county, but there were rules and committees, and everything had to be a lot of meetings and committees. And she worked for other people and a lot of meetings and committees in her own way. And so this way we're kind of free to do our own vision, and we're bringing that, doing it our way, which is special and scary.
Yeah. Special in like a helmet kind of way, and scary in a scary way.
Scary way. But we're very excited to bring back. I have we're donating a lot of books to Head Start with a book exchange. So that element of literacy, I have a whole entire storage unit full of books.
Yes, and I have an office full of books that I can't wait to clear out. So
Yes.
the book exchange will happen both days, and it's going to be really fun because you can come bring books, bring comic books, and you can exchange one for one. And when we did this last time at this other event, we had people that would exchange maybe one or two books, but then they donated like 50 books. Yeah. So it was great. So we gave over 600 books to the Head Start program, and then like 200 books to a local adult literacy program here in Utah. And so we're really excited, and people are really loving that idea. One of my favorite things to do at Disneyland, which is one of my favorite places, if you know me, you know I'm like a Disney freak, is to trade pins. And so the idea of trading books and trading comic books is kind of like my love for trading pins, and hopefully next year we'll have a bigger trading area for not just books, but pins and pogs. And
you. Yeah.
I still have pogs. Does anybody have pogs?
They do. They're on eBay for like.
I think I have them like in a little like shoebox somewhere. With,
I
like,
have
photos.
some, and I went to see the price them out. They're not worth anything.
Well, I guess they were like quarter size, like cardboard. But
So that's kind of how we met, and we brought that love of that first event into this event, and then expanded off of that.
Yeah.
What are some of the activities at the event?
Oh, we have a lot. So we have about half and half free activities that are included with your ticket. And then we have some that are extra cost because you're walking away with something. So you're taking something home with you. So some of the free events that we have a Wizarding Most Wanted game, which means that we have local cosplayers from the community, from different cosplay groups that are dressed up as wizards. And they're not just Harry Potter wizards, but wizards from all different realms and fantastical places. And during the day, you can hunt them. You can either capture them and take them to safety, or you can turn them into the authorities. And either way, you get rewarded. But then we know who the good guys and the bad guys are because you'll be walking around with your reward all day. So we'll kind of know how that works out. And then we have a map that you can get when you come in, and it's a wizarding quest. So on this map is kind of very much like the Lord of the Rings Tolkien map, where you go and find, and this is where Harry Potter comes in, different Horcruxes at different vendor locations. And you go either take a picture of it, the Horcrux, or they'll ask you to do a riddle or recite a poem or a question. And then when you're all done, you go over to a booth of ours, you turn it in, and we'll be giving away random prizes all day long that all the vendors have donated and the movie theaters have donated and stuff like that.
I want to tell a little bit about the STEM stuff, which we call our dark art section, because, it's
Anytime
basically
you learn
magic.
is bad.
Right. Well, that's what we love. Like, it encourages you to take that step further in some of these science, engineering, or technology. So one of the paid crafts that we have is an infrared wand. So if you're familiar with Universal Studios, I was just there last week, they have the wands that do things around the area. We have the same thing. You can make it, learn about circuitry, infrared technology, and light up things all around our event.
So you're not just paying $30 for a wand and then go and like push a bunch of buttons all day. You're putting it together. You're building
making
it.
Yeah. We have chemistry clubs. We have a giant potion section because you got to have potions for Harry Potter.
But I just have a question. So say you have, I don't know, a moron like me, who really isn't very good with like any kind of
You
stuff
will be
like that.
supervised.
Yes.
You will have people there helping
I don't know if we should give
But
them the
if
glue
not,
guns,
is there
though.
a slight chance I could blow shit up? I mean,
Well, I mean, in our potions area, we will be having some things happening.
Really?
But,
Yes.
but I hope,
okay, like even the little like poppy things that make noise.
we'll see what the fire marshal will let us do.
Stupid fire marshal.
No open flames. I'm sorry.
They're invisible flames.
They are. And our wand is only, how much is our wand? Erin?
$10.
It's $10 to build.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And you're making it your very own.
Okay, I'm gonna have to like hire a kid to come with me, so it'll be like $10 for the wand, and then $10 for the kid to put it together, and then I can play with it.
That's true. We should have a deluxe wand that we do for you.
Yeah. Well, we
$20
actually
one.
have 4 vendors that are selling wands,
Yes.
different wands. So if you don't want to make one, you don't have to. You can
Yes,
go
you
and buy one. So
Is it still the infrared wand?
no.
So you have to work to play.
You have to work at it.
Too.
Yeah,
We make you
have to
work a little
learn.
bit.
We
Our
make
whole-
you
Or hire a
learn.
kid.
Yeah.
Or hire a kid. I like
The whole
way you think.
idea behind Wizarding
Linen sheep.
Days is to get involved, to be doing something. There's a lot of events where you just go and you look and you see, and this is look, see, smell, touch, play.
Yeah. No celebrities, no panels. We have workshops, educational
discussions.
classes, and
Yeah.
discussions. You're going to learn something. Some people might not want to learn, but
There's also
you will learn.
Okay, why do you look at me? Like, okay, there's like
So that you can go
multiple
back
people
and
at the
forth.
table, but Carrie looks at me like there's
I
no
don't know
chance in
anything.
hell that Steve's gonna
Okay,
learn
I'm looking at
anything from
Dylan.
this.
I'm looking over
So-
here
a
too.
nice save.
Some of the discussions that are fun. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I believe that Jedis are wizards, and you can come and argue with me if you would like to, because we're having a discussion.
Is it like the kissing booth? Like come and argue, like pay 5 cents and argue, like
You know
whether
what?
it's a wizard or not?
The cost to argue with me is just the price of a ticket, and then you come to the discussion, and we're going to be talking about the ways of the Jedi and how they are very much magical and whimsical. You know, we can get into whatever side you want, but it's not like a panel room where there's a table of people with a microphone and they're talking at you. This is you discussing your favorite fandoms and your favorite books and your favorite stories and your favorite movies with people. So you're a part of the discussion, and then it's just very interactive.
Yeah. And we have every Harry Potter class represented: runes, charms, herbology, all of it. So you're learning about the plants behind the herbology, not just the magic, which is fun.
Yeah.
You're trying to make us smart.
We're trying.
It might take.
I'm gonna need the remedial courses a few times, but that's cool.
No, we're excited.
Andrea, do you have any questions?
You look at me because Dylan lost his notes, and so it's putting pressure on me.
My screen went
yes,
black.
just for fun. I know you haven't taken the house thing, but maybe like what do we think Valerie is, and then what is your house?
Well, I am a Ravenclaw. I got my cloak with one of our custom cloak makers selling at the event, so that's what I am. Although a little dash of Gryffindor in there too. What about you?
Valerie, you've seen the movies. Who do you think you are?
She keeps saying Slytherin.
People keep telling me Slytherin.
I think it's the people who want to be Slytherin.
Slytherin's the cool house now because they're the bad ones, right?
Well, and I don't know. I think I've been
rebels?
told. I've been told a few different houses, but again, I don't. Again, Harry Potter is fun for me. But like Lord of the Rings is where I would live. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll take it by the time.
Yeah.
By the time it's
So are you
there.
more Sam or are you more Frodo?
I think I'm more of a Sam. I think I'm a Sam. Everybody needs a Sam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody does
What
need a
about
friend.
you? You guys know your houses?
Okay, see, I'm the one that doesn't read, and so like Harry Potter. I know the dude, like his name, and doesn't he have like a little lightning bolt on his
Yeah.
head sometimes? But so I'm the house of Steve.
Oh, very
Steve
special
is
house.
Our Ron of the group.
Is the Ron of
Wait, is
So
that
wait,
good or bad?
So
You're
Ron,
good. You're like the
we got a
comedian.
Hermione here and the
Yes,
Harry.
I am definitely Hermione. I've been told that I am Hermione. Like, it's funny because I was like, there's like geeks and nerds. I've had this discussion with many people, and like geeks are actually hip and cool, and they're into like geeky things, sci-fi, fantasy, video games. And then there's the nerds who were really smart, and they sat at the front of class and they raised their hand. And I am sad to admit, but yes, I raised my hand a lot at the
Hermione.
front. I have been told I am the Hermione Granger.
I guess I'm the reluctant hero at times. So
You do have the glasses.
I do have a scar on my forehead somewhere. So.
He's like, if I have to be.
I really think that I would be the Snape. Like I am. You think I'm this way, but really behind all of that, I'm doing something totally different. So
She is
that's-
behind the scenes at all these events.
You know.
Yep.
and I'm really, really sneaky. So
I could be.
yeah, maybe.
You're Slytherin then.
Slytherin.
Okay, I am curious. You guys are both successful women, and what I like about you, Valerie, is I mean, I obviously know you a little more than I know Carrie, but I think you have done some amazing things. And was there at one point in your life when you set out and you were just determined to accomplish these events, or what made you even want to do it? And what advice do you have for other women or guys, anybody?
So I think that you become successful if you let it happen. And I think a lot of people don't become successful because they stand in their own way. So the plan that I had for myself is not the plan that I'm in right now. And if I were to sit and be upset about not following the plan that I set out on, or that path that I set out on, then I wouldn't be successful. I would be a failure in my eyes, right? So I went to film school to be a filmmaker at USC, and I spent a lot of time, and I came and I said, I'm going to be making films and movies, and I'm going to direct, and I'm going to do all these things. And now I'm producing, which is what I told myself I would never do, especially at film school, is like, producers are dicks, and I don't want to be a producer. And that's what I do, and I am. I'm a dick all the time because I'm in charge of the budget. And you have to be a jerk when you're in charge of a budget, and when you're in charge of people, and when you're in charge of making something happen, execution, of something. And so I happened to fall into events, and I didn't fight it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And then I really wanted to be good at it. And so I did whatever I needed to do to be good at it and still feel good about myself. So I see a lot of people fall into this like rut of, well, this was my plan. And because this isn't happening, it's my plan. They just like stop and they're stagnant. And I have gotten to where I am, even though I've gone like in this really like weird turny windy road with all these forks and things that get in my way, like I'm still here. So I think if I can give anybody advice about being successful, is that you have to allow it. Then you have to see what's in front of you and decide, do I want to do that or do I not want to do it? Because I've said yes to a lot of things that I shouldn't have said yes to. And I do some things which I'm tapering out of my life right now that I shouldn't be doing because I have a hard time saying no, so I'm learning how to say no. It's hard. Because I'm getting old and tired, and I need to start saying no to things. But it also helps me focus so that I can get to the goals that I want to achieve. So, I think that people that aren't successful, they're standing in their own way. Nobody can make you successful or unsuccessful except for yourself. So you can't really blame it on anybody else except for you.
I like that. I mean, I that is like great advice, because I think even myself, looking at my own life, I think that a lot of the mistakes I make, it's because I am not just going with what's presented to me. I'm trying to correct that. That's actually huge. What about you, Carrie?
Well, I took a big leap just as Valerie referenced earlier. I gave up the pension and the 401k to launch not only Wizarding Days, but another company and doing my own projects and things. And I guess people stand in their own way, as Valerie says. You don't have to dot every I and cross every T before you jump. You just do it, and sometimes you figure it all out later. So don't overanalyze, and go where the energy goes. Sometimes you think something's going to happen, but some opportunity comes up here, and you got to steer, and you got to move, and don't be scared. I mean, you only got one life to live, and that's it.
If
Make
you're
the
not
jump.
failing, you're not trying.
Yeah. Make
So
a jump.
start failing.
Yes. Fail more.
Are you guys taking volunteers? If people want to help out with your event, is it too late?
When does this? I mean, if they register in the next week, then it's not too late. Yes, we are taking volunteers, but we're now 25 days till, and I like to be locked at 25 to 30 days. And so we're ordering everything. We're ordering shirts. We're, finalizing vendors. I just locked our vendor map, like that's done. So, so yes, they can if they hurry. And they can go right to our website at wizardingdays.com. There's a little link that says volunteer, and you can register for it, and I'll put you in a place, and you'll get free tickets, and you can come have some fun.
Yeah. Wizarding Days with a Z, I should
Yes.
What type of vendors are there?
Oh, we have
excited
all
about this.
different types. So you have to, in order to be a vendor at Wizarding Days, you have to fit into one of the 4 categories of charity, fantasy, literacy, or STEM, whichever you want to do. A lot of people don't know what STEAM is, but STEAM or STEM. So if you can fit into one of those categories, you can be there. So we've turned down vendors that don't fit. So we have people that are selling wands. We have an artist alley of people that do fantasy art and comic book art. We have an author island, which is all authors, and they're, selling their books and doing signings. We have costume places. We have the Leonardo's going to be there. I just did my whole list of vendors, and my brain is like mushy, but you're not going to see what you would see at like a regular expo. So you're not going to see somebody selling insurance, and you're not going to see somebody, wanting to sell you chiropractic or anything like that. It needs to fit. We have our charities that are there. We have different cosplay groups that are there that are being interactive and raising money for those charities. And so just different vendors that you can buy their wares, and vendors that are in the education department that are there to show you how to work things. We have Lego League coming in to work out engineering. We have different science groups coming in. We have we have a group that's coming in and doing those prints. What's the prints?
Ultraviolet prints.
Ultraviolet prints. And then we have a
free.
VR group coming in with Microsoft, and they're going to be, so you can do some virtual reality fantasy elements as well.
So a lot of our vendors are local artisans, and it's their first time, and you won't see these vendors anywhere else. So we're really excited to have them come out and take a chance on Wizarding Days and sell their amazing products.
Yeah.
So is this, this is the first time, right, for Wizarding Days. What is the hope for, like, the follow-up afterwards? Another one, or staying connected with the charities or the literacy? Like, where do you go once the day is over?
I think, I think my wish is that, obviously, if by the end we don't hate each other, she doesn't know. She doesn't know how crazy it is when you get there. But I would like to do it again. I would hope that, so the way our charity program works is that we reached out to the community to nominate charities, and we had 30 charities nominated for being the first year. That was pretty great. And then we had a committee that whittled down it to 4 different charities. And so we would hope that next year we would have 4 different charities.
And raise
And we
even
would,
more
of
money.
course, want to be involved with the charities this year as well. But the whole idea is to get the community involved and know what's out there. And so every year we're introducing new community partners, new charities, new books, new fandoms, that kind of stuff. So, I think doing it again, I think we're both very much into community outreach, so probably smaller events with our community partners during the year. I'm going to go on vacation 2 weeks after, so that's my immediate plan. Is I am at 2 weeks after I'm going on a cruise, and then after that we'll discuss.
Yeah,
but
we really want to give back like we did before. That's where we started. That's where our mission and our goals are, to give back. And we love the community, the Harry Potter and fantasy community out here, and they have so much energy and want to give back so much. much. And so we're looking to harness some of that energy to make our community a better place.
So, speaking of the literacy fantasy, for the both of you, this question's both of you, like what maybe book or literary story or something like that really inspired you and brought you into this world of fantasy and geekdom?
You can go. You can start with this one.
I mean, I love Harry Potter, but I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I gave a TED Talk last year on fandoms and the power that they can give to and energize and engage people. And I gave the example of The Hobbit. That's one reason I read as a kid, a real young kid. It was too hard for me. I'd actually put little notes on. I read a paragraph at a time was all I could do at once because I was 7. And I put little dots throughout the book. And The Hobbit, I still remember all the riddles and everything. And it pushed me. It pushed me to read and engage higher level. And I really have always loved The Hobbit.
Yeah. I would
Harry
have
Potter
to say,
came later.
Yeah. I mean, The Hobbit, I probably checked out. This was back in the old school days when you actually had to check out a book and actually put your name on the little line and the card went in the sleeve. And so The Hobbit for me.
Do you still have that book? And you
It's
have
in the
some
library.
pretty good library fees like, on that?
No, it was in the library at my elementary school. And so I checked that one out, and also A Wrinkle in Time. I think A Wrinkle in Time really was like one of those books that when we were reading it out loud in elementary school, I thought to myself, this book's weird. I'm weird. I'm not alone in being weird. Like, I'm this weird kid that has these weird thoughts and stories in my head, and this book is really weird. So it kind of made me feel like I wasn't alone, like, reading that book, and the fact that the teacher was reading it to the class, and probably all the other kids were like, this is too weird. I don't like it. But I loved it because it was weird. And then I kind of went more of the historical fiction phase is kind of where I live in my books. And that's why I think I like The Hobbit, because it creates a world that you actually think you could live in, that could actually be a part of the world that we're in. And I think Harry Potter kind of grabbed a little bit of that and very much is that as well. You feel like you can live there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That was a good question.
Well, we're pretty close to wrapping it up. Give us the dates and the location, ticket prices.
Yeah.
February 24th and 25th at the South Towne Expo Center, and you can go to WIZARDING DAYZ, and that's with a Z.com. And our tickets range from $0 if your kids are ages 5 and under, they get in for free. Ages 6 to 12 are $5, and then if you're a teen, you're considered an adult in our world because we have so much fun stuff for you to do. So you can get a single day pass for $15, or you can get the Wizarding Weekend Pass for $25. And it basically gets you in an hour early on Saturday. You get I don't know if we can say that's not really. You get to pick the house that you're in, so you get
something.
You get a one of those silicone like wristband jelly things, and you can pick the house that you're in, and you get a couple extra things with that, or you can get a Muggle bundle, which is you and your entire Muggle family of up to 6 people can get in for $65. So,
and stay tuned for Saturday night because there will be.
We are going to be.
Yeah, we're doing Yule
There's going to
balling
be
it
some
up.
shenanigans on Saturday night. We haven't announced it yet, but it's going to be announced
Just
this week.
Stay tuned.
So yeah.
And I wanted to mention the 4 charities. We're real excited about the partners. One is Utah Parent Center that works with individuals and parents with children with disabilities. Youth Futures, which is an Ogden teen homeless shelter. Canines for a Cause, which does train service animals for veterans. And for the Utah Human Rights Education Association too. So we're real excited.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see everybody at the Wizarding Days. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, and I just want to add, like, this is like the perfect venue for talking about this. Like, we're at the Watchtower Cafe.
And
for
the
those who
Watchtower is
haven't
going to
even
be at
been here,
Wizarding Days as
Yeah.
well. So.
with comic books.
They're going to be there with comic books. They're going to have a game area, so you can sit and play games at their booth if you just want
Old
to
school
sit and
games.
relax.
I love the old school.
Yeah.
So this place kind of kicks butt, or it kicks ass, but just don't tell my mom I said that. But anyways, like, I love coming here, and this is a perfect spot to plan your meetings.
Yes.
Because you can see they're all in the Hobbit mode up here.
Yeah.
So definitely check out Watchtower Cafe on State Street.
Across the street from Salt Lake Community College.
I mean, you're really not going to class anyway. So it really, I mean, let's just be honest. Do the class online, maybe do homework, maybe not. You can pay a kid $10 to do it for you. And then come sit here and enjoy coffee.
up?
I don't know, but this kid's got to be smart.
He's smart and he's making
The
cash.
Lego
He
League
doesn't
kid,
know it.
maybe one of those.
There we go. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.